With the Venom film quickly approaching, it's no surprise that fans of the superhero genre are hungry to know more about everything and anything to do with the villain turned anti-hero. Venom has always been a character of great interest, but last year the symbiote was given one of his biggest stories yet, the Venomverse, which plays protagonist Eddie Brock side by side with other Venom alternates from across the multiverse, in order to protect the symbiote's race, the Klyntars. So what exactly is the Venomverse? Well, today we're breaking that down for you with our list of the top 10 Venomverse shocking facts. And at number 10, the Spider-Verse. So where did the idea for the Venomverse come from? Well, back in 2014 there was an event called the Spider-Verse that featured alternate versions of Spider-Man from across the Marvel Universe, all of whom were being threatened by the villain Morlun. It introduced various versions of Spider-Man, including Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen, aka Gwen Stacy, who was the Spider-Woman of Earth 65. There was also Spider-Ham, which was pretty great. Anywho, it was a story arc that crossed over many different multiverses, and was the concept that prompted the Venomverse, which operates in a similar fashion, featuring alternate Earths with alternate Venoms. Up next, number 9, Origins. The background behind Venomverse is just as important as what happened within it. The motivation behind the Venomverse story arc was to make Venom a more important character in the Marvel Universe, with editor Devin Lewis calling it the biggest Venom story of all time. Leading up to the story arc back in 2016, there was a new Venom comic that was released, and featured a different character as the host of the symbiote, a dude named Lee Price. That didn't bode overly well with fans, and due to popular demand, Eddie returned in issue 6 of Venom. In addition to that, upon Eddie's return, a new miniseries was announced, called The Edge of Venomverse, which would star Venom alongside other alternates of Marvel characters. It wasn't until the end of Edge of Venomverse that Venomverse itself would kick in. The story would continue into its sequel series Venomized, where much of the resolution with the Poisons, the antagonists in the series, would occur. And at number 8, Doctor Strange and the Alternates. While Eddie Brock was an important part of the Venomverse story arc, he wasn't the only key player. The arc begins with Venom being summoned to an alternate Earth by an alternate Doctor Strange. So many alternates. In an attempt to recruit him in a war between the symbiotes and the Poisons. More on that later though. The other alternate Venoms who take part in the fight are all familiar faces of other Marvel characters who have become the symbiote's host on their respective Earths, like Ghost Rider, Rocket Raccoon, X-23, and Captain America. Strange had discovered the Poisons, and the threat they possessed towards the Klyntars, upon crossing paths with the symbiote on the run from the race. Up next, number 7, the Poisons. The Poisons are a race of crystalline aliens that prey on the Klyntars, and are considered to be one of their natural predators. All Poisons are part of a collective group called the HIVE, whose goal is to achieve absolute dominion of the multiverse. They're a pretty tricky race. When hostless, they are capable of psychically fooling potential targets by appearing as loved ones or bystanders to fool them. And when they come into physical contact with a symbiote who has taken a host, they can permanently bond with them, assimilating them, and as with most cases, completely take over and silence their minds, of both the host and the symbiote in the process. Their weakness though? Without a symbiote or a host, they're incredibly frail. Up next, number 6, the Resistance. Doctor Strange, having bonded with the symbiote he encountered, started to be hunted down by the Poisons. This is when he started to recruit Venoms from across the multiverse, all to form a resistance. While at first it seemed to be a solid plan, it only further aided the Poisons in their plan of assimilating the symbiotes and their hosts, making it much easier, rapidly turning the tide of the war against the Resistance. Eventually, Venom from Earth 616 was summoned, Eddie Brock, and thus began the story. Eddie proved to be an incredibly vicious and valuable asset of the Resistance, which led to the capture and interrogation of a Poison in the process. Up next, number 5, the HIVE. So who is it exactly that the Resistance is fighting against in order to defeat the Poisons? Well, the Poisons are capable of assimilating Klyntar and their hosts in order to become more powerful. In the process, they also gain the host's likeness, memories, powers, and abilities, and make them become a part of the HIVE. The Poisons within the HIVE were controlled by the Poison Queen, who was powered by the life force of those who were consumed by the Poisons. Many individuals who fought in the Resistance were assimilated into the HIVE during the process, and it wasn't until Jean Grey killed the Poison Queen that the HIVE fell. Since their lives were connected to the Poison Queens, they were all destroyed when she was. It's like a hive mind, but aliens and comic books. Up next, number 4, Cullen Bunn. The writer behind the Venomverse was Cullen Bunn, who spearheaded the series alongside artist Ivan Colello. The two had worked together on the Deadpool and the Mercs for Money title prior to teaming up on this one. He's actually written a lot of Deadpool comics in the past, including Deadpool's Secret Wars, Deadpool Kills Deadpool, and Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Bunn doesn't just work for Marvel though. He collaborated with Brian Hurt on The Damned, which was published in 2007 by Oni Press, and had a sequel titled Prodigal Sons, and later crafted a new series for the publisher called The Sixth Gun in 2010, which ran until 2016. He's also been nominated for his fair share of Eisner's and Bram Stoker awards in the past, and that's kind of a big deal. All in all, really great writer. Up next at 3, Poison Thanos. The Poison Queen may be in charge, but her second in command is not to be taken lightly. It's Thanos. Poison Thanos believed the Poison Queen was actually Mistress Death, and sought to please her. Typical Thanos. This led to him invading and assimilating in her name, with the poison version of Dr. Doom serving as his right-hand man. He's also the one responsible for forcibly bonding Carnage with the new symbiote and having him assimilated, creating Poison Carnage and Venomized. Fortunately enough, he did die when Jean Grey killed the Poison Queen, because heaven forbid that Poison Thanos find his way to an Infinity Gem. Still traumatized by Infinity War. Sorry. Up next, number 2, Deadpool. Deadpool, who was originally known as Venompool in this series and was previously seen in Edge of Venomverse issue 5, also appears in Venomverse, and is from Earth TRN-649. On his Earth, while he was investigating scientists at the Ripley Diagnostics Lab, Deadpool's body is invaded by a prehistoric tapeworm, and he frees the Venom symbiote in order to expel the tapeworm from his body. During Venomverse, he works as a double agent of sorts, when he realizes that there was a way to prevent his mind from being consumed by the poisons in order to help the Resistance. He pretends to deflect from the Resistance and joins the poisons, and his insanity protects his mind from being fully consumed, allowing him to function as himself despite becoming a poison himself. He helps the Resistance infiltrate the poison's lair, and is left for dead alongside Carnage before the bomb set by the Resistance goes off. Which isn't really a great way to say thank you. And finally, in at number 1, we have Flame Immunity. One of the Venom symbiote's most notable weaknesses is fire. Along with sonic waves, it's the most common way that Venom has been defeated over the years. But one of the more interesting facts about the symbiote is its ability to adapt, which has led to various instances over the years where Venom has proven to be immune against fire. This is also the case with one of the characters who appears in Venomverse, Roberto Reyes, the Earth TRN-647 version of Ghost Rider, known wonderfully as Host Rider. Roberto became Ghost Rider when the character was possessed by Eli Morrow, the demonic ghost of his uncle, and when the symbiote showed up, it merged with Morrow, ultimately removing the Klyntars' weakness towards flames and heat. All in all, that's pretty cool when you consider how adaptable that makes the symbiotes, and why so many of these Venomized alternates in this series were super cool, having adapted to the heroes with their own unique powers on alternate Earths. Alright, there we have it, friends. Are you guys fans of the Venomverse series? If you haven't read it, is it on your list of comics to pick up? Share your thoughts with us in those comments below. If you dug this video, please show some love and hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. And be sure to take a look at the playlists we currently have flashing on your screen for more great nerdy videos, and even some on Venom. Hope to see you all there. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.